Okay, YouTube, we're back today with another beer review. Again, I have my buddy Chuck here. I'm Matt. Um, Today, we are going to review a classic Belgian double, St. Bernardus Prior 8. One of the, I guess you would say, wannabe Trappist breweries. But it's not a Trappist brewery. It's the Belgian brewery. But I've had St. Bernardus Prior 8 before. I believe Chuck has too. It's actually one of my better liked Belgian doubles. Not in the upper tier, but definitely not lower. Definitely makes a good one. They definitely make a good Belgian double. But again, the special thing about this one is we are drinking an aged Belgian double. I went out today, and if you saw one of my earlier reviews on Westerfeiner Doppelbock, I found an old case of that, and today I also found an old case of this. On the back here it says Best By, which always makes me laugh. Best By, June 1st, 2011. You can see that on there. June 1st, 2011. And which is funny because it's going to taste even better now than it did back then. I think St. Bernardus ages their beers or puts their Best By dates by 5 years. So since it's 2014, it's 2011, that would make this an 8-year-old beer, which is kind of symbiotic, or what would they call it? Not symbiotic. Kind of ironic because it's an 8. Prior 8 years old. So
yes.
There you go. So what do you think, Chuck? Think it's going to be good or not?
I want to see what it's all about. I think it's going to be good. If it's anything like many of the other aged discoveries that we've had.
This is going to be good, actually. I can tell you right now just by smelling it there.
Yeah.
Pour that sucker right down the middle.
Well, if the newer ones are pretty damn delicious, then kind of
close. Kind of shorted you on that one a little bit, but hey,
that's all right.
It.
I'm a shorter guy, so
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
just a little bit thinner than me.
Story in my
Not much.
life, yeah.
So let's see. St. Bernardus Prior 8. St. Bernard Belgium Trappist Leg Watu. It's the original name, the Watu Triple. I don't know the difference between the Watu Triple or the St. Bernardus.
Does it have anything to do with the Watuzi?
Yes, it's exactly. That's the Watu. Watuzi.
You should look at it.
Let's see. Not much. Again, it's a classic beer. They're not going to tout about what they're about on the bottle. There's an ABV on here somewhere.
It's about
8% alcohol. Prior 8 Abiel. Don't drink if you're pregnant. No shit. There you go. Not much else on there. So, let's see what she smells like. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good.
It smells like deliciousness.
It's your definitely your typical Belgian double. Belgian yeast. Just a little bit of, not a crazy amount of fruit, dark fruits. Just a ton of Belgian yeast. Sweet. What do you think?
Yeah, sweet. Definitely sweet.
And you can definitely smell the age on it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I had one of these earlier today in preparation of having this, just so I could tell the difference between one that was newer and one that was older, and it's a drastically different beer. Not super complex. I know people hate the word complex, but not super complex, but very good. Typical Belgian double. A lot of decent amount of sediment in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bottle conditioned, I believe, and the age definitely adds to that.
Yeah.
As far as this goes, you definitely can't see anything in the bottom of that. Got a nice, amount of funk in the bottom of that bottle, so that means it should taste good. So, cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I have a soft spot in my heart for Belgian beers. I think most people who like it do. Usually have a difference. You have your hop heads and your malt heads, and your malt heads are typically going to have a soft spot in their heart for Belgian beers because that's where it all comes from. Nah, I'd definitely be more of a quad man myself than a double man, but I appreciate doubles. Le Trap double, West Mally, whatever you want to call it, double. There's some good ones, but this is up there, and the age definitely shows in this. I would definitely put this on par with like your Rochefort double or even your West Wiedelin 8. Because of the age, not right out of the chute. If you've ever had a West Wiedelin 8 before, it definitely, for me, it tastes a little bit better than this. But with the age on this compared to a brand new Westie 8, I definitely pick this one.
Yeah, it has a really good taste to it. It's really
Yeah, a little. This bottle tastes like it has a little bit of oxidation going on. Not a ton, but a little bit, to the point where it's probably, give it another year or so, it'd probably turn. I did have one of these bottles earlier today. Like I said, I had a newer one and an older one, just to see what they're like. The older one I had earlier today definitely had a bit more flavor to it than this one, but it's definitely a good beer, and it's definitely improved with age. Your thoughts, Chuck?
I like it. It's you can tell it's a little bit older. It has that smell that it's been sitting for a while, which is a good
mustiness,
smell.
The oldness, which I'm a fan of myself. It's that the umami is what it's called. It's a savory taste. The human taste bud tastes. You're sweet, you're sour. Your different tastes. One of the newer, I guess you would say, tastes that the human body can taste, or defined as one of the human body can taste. One of the newer tastes that they actually talk about is what's called umami, and that's that taste that you taste there. That not necessarily the soy sauce taste that you would get with like a super aged beer, like an Old Hardy or like an old G.W. Lee's, like one of the a 70s or 80s beer, but it has that little bit of savoriness to it, which I like.
So when you drink an older aged beer and you get that taste and you like it, you say umami. You like it?
Only to your mommy. Nah.
I knew it. Set myself up for failure every time.
Yeah, well, hey, what are you going to do?
I try to be funny.
Yeah, well, so do I. It doesn't come off that well, though. Yeah, such is life.
It happens.
But it's really weird to rate older beers, because they are older, so they're going to be different. It's not like you're going to be rating a St. Bernardus. If I were going to rate a St. Bernardus 8, a new one, I'd probably put it in the mid to high 80s as far as the St. Bernardus 8 goes. With a little bit of age on it, I'd probably almost touch 90 on it, maybe even get to 90, depending on the amount of oxidation in the bottle. But it's definitely a good beer. Value-wise, again, because I typically want to talk about value, because as much as good beer is good beer, there's overpriced good beer. It's all right on the value scale. I mean, you can get a case of St. Bernardus 8 from anywhere from $80 to $100. I don't think that's a ton, but at the same time, I could probably get a comparable double, or something just as good or a little bit better for about the same price. So it's not that bad,
I like it. I would buy it. I would buy a case, if I saw it out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after tasting this one. I mean, I've had the most recent ones and ones as old as this now. Both are equally as good, equally as enjoyable. The ones that are newer have a little bit more flavor, but with a lot of the Belgians, like 4 or 5 years old, are usually, a good range, I think, in my experience.
No,
but,
that's
I
true.
always like to let them sit for a little while and enjoy them then.
Well, as you know, I mean, I'm a huge fan of old beer. You are, and a bunch of my friends are. But St. Bernard as a whole is good beer. I mean, even like, I'm not a huge fan of blondes, like light blondes, not even triples, just your blondes, and even their blonde or even their wit is very good. So as a whole, St. Bernardus is a brewery I enjoy. I don't go out of my way to to drink it only because it's super readily available. You can literally any bar you walk into, if they have a semi decent beer selection, they're always gonna have some St. Bernardus on hand. So it's almost like something that you overlook, like a Chimay. Like I love Chimay Blue. I think it's one of my up there with one of my favorite beers, definitely in the top 50. But it's also a beer I don't drink a ton of because it's just around everywhere, and I always want to try something that I can't get. But yeah, same thing with St. Bernardus. It's just a good beer. I mean, a brewery as a whole, you know. So, yeah, good stuff.
I agree.
Well, that's another beer review down the gullet, I guess you could say. And you know, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, insults, whatever.
Jokes. We take jokes.
Jokes about umami or mommies.
Yeah.
You can leave them in the comments below, and hopefully we see you next time.
Cheers.